Okay, so Mark, 434 verses. We've got the shortest of the gospel immediately. He's always moving. Gentiles starts with the baptism of John, not with the birth of Jesus.
But the ministry of Jesus always begins with John in all the gospels.
Of course.
Always. Because, how do you prepare the way for Jesus? You made people aware that they're sinners and they need someone to redeem them. So,
But the emotional life of Jesus, you talked about that.
Very emotional.
Describe that. Bring that out for a bit, because I don't think that's something that we think about very often.
Well, here's a nerdy answer for you. In the Gospel of John, there are two adjectives that describe Jesus' emotions. Jesus is fairly unemotional in the Gospel of John. In Mark, I think there's 16 or 17. So he's angry. In Mark, the rich young ruler, Jesus looked at him and loved him. So there's this kind of emotional piece to it. And again, I attribute that to Peter being in the background. Yeah. So the emotional life of Jesus. In Luke, one of the major themes, if you look at the language, is amazement. Everyone's amazed. I call it the gospel of amazement. He exhausts the language of amazement. There are about four words that can be translated to be astonished or to be amazed. Luke uses all of them. And sometimes there'll be two. If you hear a verse that says, the people were astonished and amazed, that's Luke. That's his language. That's how he talks. Okay, but what does that mean? See, that's an interesting fact, but what does that mean? Well, what it means is, we know Luke wasn't an eyewitness, that he talked to eyewitnesses 30 years later after, the event. And so what that means is the people he's talking to consistently are still astonished by what they saw when they saw and heard Jesus. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah. Luke. So Luke is very much interested in that aspect, and as well as other things, but he's interested in parables more than any of them. And you can compare and contrast the Gospels, but again, they're not disagreeing with each other. They're just giving a
different emphasis
image of it. Yeah, they don't disagree with each other. They're wonderfully integrated. Even I think sometimes when they don't know they're being integrated, they're wonderfully integrated.